What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, we must VOD review Setsuko because he is going on one of the most insane start of set runs I have ever seen in all of my years watching Teamfight Tactics. He tweeted this screenshot here. Look at this. Master 5 LP, Setsuko, rank 1 NA. The closest person, YY1, who wasn't even D2 yet at that point. So YY1, a full over 200 LP below Setsuko with more games played than him. Look at these stats. 91% win rate, and the most insane one of all, 42.2% win rate. If you look at it right now, it's actually even higher, 42.6% win rate. This guy is winning almost half of the games that he plays of TFT, which is just unbelievable. I mean, you look at this graph and it just goes up. He had a couple of bot fours in there, took an 8th recently, trying to play Void, I guess, but still, I mean, this graph is just completely unbelievable. So we must watch him. So we're going to watch one of his VODs. This game I picked out because I think it really just encompasses why Setsuko is the GOAT in metas like these, why he is somebody who is just so good at, yeah, I mean, winning games of TFT when put into spots where I think a lot of other people would just crumble in VOD for. Also, I'm like 50-50 on if I should cover up, because this is this like Setsuko VOD channel. Should I cover up this Twitch chat? It's like kind of fun to have the Twitch chat down there as long as they don't say anything. But I guess we will see what if his chat behaves itself. Yeah, okay. So we start off here with a Milio and a few other pieces of things. We do have 2 out of 3 Ixtal here, which is really nice. This is, certainly something that we can look at playing an Ixtal opener. We're also holding on to some other stuff, some bilge water here. And probably just going to sell off make 10 gold there. All right, first augment here. We actually have a lot of good stuff that plays into Ixtal type stuff, whether that is Ixtal reroll, which, spoiler alert, I don't think we're going to play Ixtal reroll because our name is Setsuko and we're so confident that we're better than the lobby that why would we play a reroll comp? But you can still, I mean, the econ augment sampler platter here. Which econ augment do you want? Do you want Cluttered Mind? Do you want Patient Study? Do you want Calculated Loss here? I think there's arguments behind all of them. I think Cluttered Mind is more so, the win streakers augment where you get a bunch of 1 costs, you can hold a bunch of stuff on bench, and then oftentimes you can 2-star a couple of units and then win streak with Cluttered Mind, which is great. And then Patient Study and Calc Loss are the more loss streak oriented ones. Calc Loss gives you kind of more gold value if you want to think about it that way. It's like 4-ish gold value, and then Patient Study obviously accelerates your XP faster and also has the big upside where if you win the fight, you still get value out of Patient Study. If you win the fight with Calculated Loss, you get literally nothing. But for Setsuko, I think he knows that we're actually in a spot where we're very likely to just play for Loss Streak here with just the Ixtal opener here. You can do some of the Ixtal quests where you just say, I'm going to lose 10 fights in a row. If we could get Ixtal in here, chef's kiss, 10 losses, Calc Loss, and it's just GG's. But even, like a 7 loss or even like a 4 loss or something, very doable with Calc Loss. So I like Calc Loss a lot here. Patient Study, I think, is, fine, but not that crazy. You can even do something wild here, which we'll see if it's what Mr. Setsuko wants to do here. But you could even lose this fight, and, we don't have Nico this round. You could even sack this fight and then say, you know what? I'm going to use my free rerolls to dig for the Nico. The other nice thing about Calculated Loss is that you can use it to pick up Bard as well. So, say we lose the first few fights, we get some free rerolls. We use those to kind of give us a down payment on our rerolls for Bard, and then we get our Bard, and Bard's actually going to end up giving us more rerolls at that point. The only downside is obviously you're using your rerolls at this lower level where, in an ideal world, you're using these rolls as late as possible, right? This roll used here, oh my God, and he is gonna go for it. Oh my God, okay. The level to 4 and roll, I mean, oh my God, that's crazy. But it ended up hitting us in Eco here. I mean, he actually got rewarded for it. That is nuts. But I mean, it's just a very Setsuko play. Just, I don't care. I'm going to go for it. And it actually hits. And oh my God, he gets it in. And then he gets the lose 3 player combats in a row. I mean, that's beautiful for him. 120. I mean, ideally you would get one of the Giga Loss ones. I mean, 10 loss after losing the first fight, not having it in is a little bit rough. But yeah, I mean, it was a free roll there. So had we missed, we would only lose out on one of our rolls, which isn't the end of the world. Now, it is crazy to me that he did opt to actually spend the gold to level, but it didn't even break our econ threshold. We still got to make 20 gold that round, and we are still going to make 30 gold this round. So it really didn't hurt our econ all that much in the grand scheme of things. He's also thinking about doing this tech that I've talked about before, where you can bench Ixtal just to kind of hide your Ixtal from other people if you don't want people potentially griefing you, because there's no way, unless you have Ixtal in, of people seeing what your Ixtal quest is. So what you can do is just bench your Ixtal to try to kind of hide it from other people. He's not going to build the Kiana 2 because he wants to make sure that we are going to lose these fights. There is a pan on Carousel, and yeah, he is going to take it here. And I think Setsuko himself might even be just trying to figure out, what are we doing with this pan here? Because, I mean, there's a lot of high cap stuff that you can do with the pan, but as a lot of people have talked about the set, the downside to the pan is so many traits just fit on boards normally without pan. It's so easy for you to play, say, 2 Arcanist without even building an Arcanist spat. So then, why do you need an Arcanist spat here? Also, Daisy gonna come sit on my lap here so you guys can get a nice little Daisy cam here. There you go. All right, so take another loss here, get our first cash out. Let's go towards our next cash out. The other funny thing is you can do these kind of cash outs where you need to, reroll X times. Though probably not now, ideally. I mean, lose 4 player combats. Fuck it. I mean, frick it. I think we should do this as well here. He's looking at maybe the earn 6 interest. I mean, it's wow. I mean, actually, when you look at it, I can see why. I mean, it's almost half of the reward for the Ixtal. It's going to take about the same, right? It's going to take us 2 rounds to get 70 here, and it's going to take us 4 rounds to get 150. So I guess technically this is more, and we are going to be losing anyway here. So yeah, Ixtal loss streak here. The big thing for Setsuko is going to be figuring out, 1, what we are going to do this pan, like we talked about, and 2, what items we want to start building towards, because we're going to be low. We are going to be low when we cash out, and you guys don't even know how low we are going to be. This is the lowest I have seen somebody in a long time when they cash out their loss streak here. So we really need to be careful about, having our board built for us, not doing anything too crazy. Because, I mean, if you fumble your pivot turn, I mean, it's just GG's a lot of the time. So we are just going to continue here on this board here, have the rod here, have a lot of AP itemization here. Something like a Shojin JG is quite reasonable, and then you can play it into a lot of these AP carries that we've talked about, the Melmedarda, the Annie. Don't have that second mana item on lock yet, but maybe something that we can see online. Fight level 6 here, which is really, really rough. Second augment here, CB, Golemify, Bronze for life. If you guys watch my other Setsuko VOD review, you already know what the answer that Setsuko is going to take here. It is that Bronze for life. He loves this augment here. I mean, it is just such a good augment for the way that Setsuko plays the game, where it's just, max cap, get all of these traits in. He's a very, very creative player. You're going to see a really creative board out of him this game. And so we are just going to play this spot here, and we don't really have any traits in right now. I was gonna, try to be like, yeah, we got some traits in right now, but not really. Looking at Vanquisher Spat as his potential slam here, but then opts to make the TG. I mean, Vank Spat is a very nice one where you can just very easily play either the Ambessa or the Fiddlesticks and get 2 Vanquisher in. So definitely one that you could see coming online, down the line, like very, very easily. One that, it's kind of awkward sometimes to play Ambessa on your board with your Fiddlesticks, because, oftentimes you'll end up cutting her for stuff like a Melmedarda. Yeah, he's still in the Mind Palace here. I mean, okay, so we can pause and kind of talk through them here, though I will have to move my head here. So I will say, Defender, way too easy to play. Really, really easy to play a Vi plus any defender. So I'm not that interested in this one. Bruiser Emblem we have seen in the Freljord type boards play that, get Bruiser in really easy for Volibear. Koboko is normally the one you play, so I don't think it's like too crazy. But something. Invoker Emblem's actually one that I do like a lot. You can throw this on, speaking of, once again, your Melmedarda. She can use this one really, really nicely, and it's a little hard to fit like a trillion invokers down the line. Vanquisher we spoke about, very, very solid. Quickstriker, another one that I kind of like a lot. You can just play because it's oftentimes awkward to get another Quickstriker in with Kindred when you're like giga capped late game, because like you're either playing like Draven is the best one to play oftentimes because you can fit Noxus in, but like a Yunara is oftentimes not doing much. Arcanist, like we talked about, very awkward, right? It's really easy to just play 2 Arcanist on your late game board, and so like I don't care that much for this. So yeah, the big ones I would say are Quickstriker, Vanquisher, and Invoker, the ones that you can, you know, really write home about. So we'll see what Mr. Setsuko wants to take here. I didn't talk about like Slayer, but you know, I don't really like stuff like Slayer just because you know, I mean, are we really going to play towards Vertical Slayer? And, you know, there's a big difference between getting in something like 2 Arcanists, which buffs your entire board, versus 2 Slayer, which doesn't do anything for your entire board. It just buffs up the units that are the units. All right, going into Carousel here, we do have to kind of look at what we are taking here. I would be looking at maybe double mana here, another tier here, to look for, you know, potential items for our AP carries. He's going to look for Belt onto Lux here, with the idea of maybe using is his idea that he's going to I mean, yeah, we'll see. We will see where this this goes here. All right, he cashes out his next quest. Okay, so this is the spot where you can start thinking about cashing out, right? We've taken a lot of losses here, and we do want to cash out soon. You could the big thing to consider here with Ixtal is that you need to do your quests and then wait around, and then you cash out the next round. What this means is it's very clunky to cash. What you can't do is say like take the reroll the shop 6 times, push level 8, use those rerolls, cash out, and then take Ixtal out. You're gonna have to play it for another round. So you know, something like the have a full bench for 4 rounds. I mean, obviously untenable at this point. 4 rounds is very far. He could take by 68 XP. The problem is he would have to over pump by quite a lot to take this. I think this might even be just a cash out here. Take your 270 cash out here. It's a 20 gold value here. I mean, still very, very solid. Because your only other option is reroll the shop 6 times, but then you're stuck rolling on 7, which, I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't really love it. It makes you waste a lot of your rolls. And so, yeah, he does cash out, gets a bit of gold and a full item component. So a decent cash out, but definitely not one that, you know, is worth writing home about. But I already really like this play from Setsuko, just to say we are just going to take the cash out here. It's a little bit veg, but he knows his limits, right? Setsuko is not someone who is just going to constantly just go completely crazy and do, you know, anything. He is, you know, still someone at the end of the day who is trying to win the game and is trying to make the most optimal decision, even if sometimes that decision is a little crazy. And so I really like the measured cash out there. Now, we do slam Shojin Morello, which actually is leading us down the path of not playing towards something like Annie, obviously, because, you know, Annie already has that heal cut built in. So we're actually looking towards playing, I'm thinking like Lucian Senna, stuff like that. We get Steadfast Heart here, which is just going to go into a random Kog'Maw for now here. It's just a good enough tank item, so pretty happy with that. And yeah, the big thing here is, though, 22 HP, hits this double Lissandra shop here, which actually gives him a little bit of direction towards like maybe playing some kind of Freljord board for a little while here. And he's actually going to use a few of his rolls on 7 here, just a couple, so that he can stabilize his board a bit here, because he'd really actually like to win this fight, because having 2 lives here versus having 1 life here is really, really rough. So he checks his TG, throws it onto Lissandra, but he's actually really, really trying to win this fight. The problem is we rotate into a Bilgewater board with a GP2, a Nautilus 2, so we are going to lose this fight and drop down to 12 HP at 3-7. So this is a scary spot. I think you put 90% of players into this spot, and they're just going 8th. I mean, it's just too it is just too tough to play out in general. So let's see how Setsuko, the GOAT of these kind of spots, you know, makes it work here, bring it down to 1x speed here. We do have this Lissandra pair to play around. He's also holding on to this Draven here as well, which we can talk about a little bit later. Pick up a Taric here, who's an oftentimes a very good in. Swain here, who fits on so many of these boards, and we have the Nico already. Holds Loris as well, holds Yunara as well, holds this Braum as well. Picks up Taric too, which is nice, and the Vi here, and the Sejuani here, and now has a Kindred in this shop, so he's going to sell off the Lux at this point, fit Kindred onto this board. Also notice that we're doing this all on a menu round, because Setsuko also knows his limits. He knows that he's not going to be able to roll down all of these rolls during a player combat round, and if he messes that up, he's literally dead. There was 0 room for error here, so he actually opts to roll down on this minion round, which I really, really love, just showing even, you know, someone like Setsuko says, you know what, there are limitations to rolls like this. All right, we pick up Braum 2. We have the Swain 2 as well here, and this is actually a really, really, really important point in the game. because so much of TFT right now is understanding when you are stable on 8 and when you can go fast 9 in spots exactly like these. Because if you overroll in spots like these, you will put yourself into a position where, you know, you just cap your board out artificially low. If he overrolls in this spot, he's bot 4 for sure, because all it takes is one loss late game in, you know, stage 5 and he's dead. And then he's bot 4. So he cannot afford to overroll here. Very importantly as well, he cannot afford to underroll here because he is 12 HP. If he underrolls in this spot here and builds too weak of a board, he is going to die. Now, we've hit 3 really, really huge upgrades here. The Braum 2, the Swain 2, and the Tariq 2 here. These are all really, really big frontline upgrades. But what's really important, thank you, Kitty, for punctuating this point. She's playing with her ball. What's really, really important in this spot here is he actually doesn't have damage on this board. He has a Draven 1 and a Kindred 1, and so Setsuko realizes, I mean, he knows this instinctively. I feel like Setsuko is somebody who plays on instinct. He's going to pick all this stuff up, but he's going to keep rolling here because we really, really need to pick up some backline here. So he even picks up Draven pair here. He has to keep rolling through all of these tanks, picks up Draven 2 at least here, finds Nautilus 2 as well, and says, okay, at this point, we might be okay here. We're going to take Shojin here. Really, really quick thinking from Setsuko. He's like, I'm not going to make it with this. What I'm going to do here is slam the Noxus emblem here to get 3 Noxus in, move TG up to Nautilus here, put Morello onto actually the Swain here, get him casting and spreading it to the entire board, and throw the Protector's Vow there, and then also make Even Shroud, making all of his items here. Once again, if we lose this fight, it is literally game over here at 4-1. And this is a very close fight, but Kindred gets a good cast off. Swain gets a good cast off at the end. I think if we had missed a single one of these item slams, we probably would have died this fight. Like, the game would have been over. And the cherry on top is he sells Yunara pair here because he says, you know what, to get to Yunara pair here, to play for Yunara, it's just not happening in this point. So this is our setup here. Last augment here, Lucky Love's Giant and Mighty Hold the Line. Once again, we need damage on this board. We have so much frontline. We don't really care for something like a Giant and Mighty because we have all of this frontline. We do already have a TG made onto this Nautilus here. So what he's going to say is roll, and I mean, yeah, let's try taking Component Heist. That'll be fun. We're going to grab Lucky Gloves here. And what do we do with Lucky Gloves here? Well, this is another very, very smart idea from Setsuko. We have all of these upgraded units, right? We have this Tariq 2 that we must, play towards. Oh, this is also really, really smart as well. Just constantly upgrading his board, saying, you know what? I am going to get this unit in because he's actually, more crucial traits here. It's interesting because you do lose out on Jug by taking this guy out. You lose Jug Warden, and you gain Warden plus Piltover. Piltover is just such a good, flex trait, a good trait that like buffs your entire board. And Swain is really not that important as far as the tank stats go into our board. We don't really care that much about Swain as our like main tank. It's really Braum, and then Swain's kind of a utility tank here. So getting this in for EMP is way more influential here. We're going to sell him, move the TG. We are going to move all of these items, actually, TG over to Braum here. We're going to TG Draven, really, really crucial here. We need the damage from TG and Draven. If you do not TG Draven this game, you are not going to survive. We move Morello back here onto the Kindred, actually, so that we can have the TG on the Braum and then the triple item onto the Swain. All right, let's speed it back up here because we have finished our pivot for now. Just a beautifully played 2 rounds that had we not played these rounds this well, the game would be over. The game would literally be over. But instead, now we're 12 HP. We have a Draven who, if you guys haven't seen this Draven unit in action, this guy cashes out a lot of gold. I think maybe tomorrow's VOD will be a Draven reroll game. Just because this Draven reroll comp, I think, is kind of broken. But, I mean, look at this. Our board is actually very strong, and Setsuko doing the important work of scouting the lobby here and saying, am I going to die? Because he is 12 HP. If he takes a loss here, there's very, very good odds he dies this stage. And once we get to stage 5, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to die if you take a loss here. So he does need to scout and see, okay, how strong am I relative to the lobby? But he scouts and sees there are a lot of people whose boards are actually not that crazy. And all of a sudden, it actually becomes realistic for us to make it to 9. And we do have Kindred pair here, which is really, really crucial to play towards. Pick up another glove towards ideally another Lucky Gloves. Lucky Gloves is a fantastic augment for these fast 9 style comps because there's so many good units that you can play on those boards. You know, a random Fast 9 TG onto, a Shyvana, to anything like that. Look at this, no greed from Setsuko is going to level up here for basically nothing. I mean, he has... looking at playing random Jarvan, but I think, yeah, he's just going to play double Kindred here and make a second TG onto this other Kindred here. So, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense here. And then, yeah, he's going to now have, these 2 TGs onto the backline here, but he knows, like, it's very realistic that we die if we don't spike here. We also do have the Draven farming us up some gold here, so no greed from Setsuko. It's a crazy world where Setsuko is not actually super greeding in this spot, but he wants to be strong enough to survive here. Picks up Lucian Senna pair here. Now we can move these items over to Lucian Senna. The Shojin and the Morello, so good onto them, because Senna hits the entire board, and getting that first cast off is really important for, hitting the entire board with Morello, and also just getting the ults off. I mean, this unit just cares so much about casting. So yeah, we have the Lucian Senna on the board now, and our board is still clearing, people. You want to come back on my lap, kitty? She jumped right back up onto my desk here for the rest of the game. We do unlock Volibear here, which I'm not really sure is going to go on the board. This Shiv really needs to come onto the board, and this, oh my god. Is this... Ooh, okay. He realized that, like, Shiv must be played on this board here. It's Juggernaut for Swain, and just Shyvana is a fantastic unit. If you guys watched my last Setsuko video, this guy plays this unit on his board almost every single game. But he's trying to figure out, like, how do you actually fit the rest of the board? And Ops actually cut out the Taric, because Taric is 0 traits for Bronze for life, and in any of the AD matchups, he's pretty irrelevant here. So we opt to actually play this here. Gonna roll down to try to spike our board. Find MF2, but she doesn't really fit on the board, so not going to play that. And we do finally, at the last second, find Kindred 2, which is huge here. Knocks his emblem on frontline, and then we have to finish our last few items, which ends up being Guard Breaker, and then Bramble Vest, I guess. I mean, we just needed some kind of damage item onto the Kindred here. And Guard Breaker, without spell crits, not amazing, but at least it's an item here. So yeah, this is now our board Setsuko on a win streak on this 12 HP, so bringing it back HP-wise here. Still has a lot of stuff left to find, so is going to be donkey rolling every single round. He is totally fine if he sees a Senna on the way to sell his Shyvana and upgrade this, because yeah, we're 12 HP. We do not want to die at all. That is a Silas 2 that rolled an Ionic Spark, which is actually kind of scary here. They have a Senna and an Annie 2 on the backline, and Silas hits the backline there. Oh, I think Setsuko is probably malding right now because this fight looks really scary, but the Braum is tanking really nicely. The Kindred doing good work here, and he actually, wow, wins this fight against this Annie board, which we've talked about. This Annie comp is insane. We end up hitting the Senna 2 now, and our board is actually, like, fully online at this point. We are on our way very likely to top 4 in this position, because I mean, we've hit our entire board really. Also really important that we left the TG on Kindred, because we don't have Kindred items in this spot, so the Lucky Gloves is fantastic. So we play around our good item, the Lucian Senna items, the Shojin Morello stuff, and then we use our TGs to fill out our kind of awkward items. We don't have Kindred items, but the TG will grant us Kindred items. All right, looking at, I mean, we have these like paired up tank items here. We have this random Bramble Vest here, so I guess it's going to be Bramble Vow on somebody. I guess Vow is going to have to move over to the Swain, and then we're going to move something over, probably, I would actually... Oh, he's going to move the TGs up. Yep, now over to Shyvana. And then we don't really have anyone to hold these tank items, but I do feel like, we must... Yeah, this is really nice. So he's going to throw these onto Braum here. Oh, actually, he's going to Vow the Braum. Oh, he doesn't have enough... He doesn't have enough removers, actually, to move the Vow, to double Vow the Swain for the cast here. So this is his setup here. I mean, the board is looking really fantastic at this point, and these fights are looking easy. I mean, the Shyvana doing a lot of work, the Lucian Senna doing a lot of work, the Kindred doing a lot of work, and yeah, I mean, the board just fits together really nicely. He's playing around these cookie cutter, well, not really cookie cutter, but these kind of these packages of units, right? We've talked about this a million times before, but this combination of Nico, Vi, the Shyvana, and the Swain here, that 4-unit combo is just fantastic, so easy to play towards. Then getting Noxus in on top of that, usually you're thinking about playing, stuff like Mel Medarda, but we have the Noxus +1, so we're just gonna play the Draven and then use Quickstriker with Kindred, and we get there. We make it to top 4 here, and we got 2 more items coming here because we are in Scuttle Puddle. In these, this is just such a high items portal, and we're actually getting to the point where we're kind of out of units to itemize here. We just have the utility units left over. So we're going to have to figure out what's our next in here. He actually holds on to Centipede here, cracks this, finds another TG here, and then he also finds an IE here, which is great onto Senna. The only question is, if we do this, where does Morello go? He had it on Swain earlier. Ooh, this is a little sus. Morello Loris here. Okay, I mean, he does hit multiple units. Ooh, that looked pretty bad, actually. I think he died before applying Morello here. But we do have this IE, which is really big. And then Kinner gets a huge cast off here and saves our whole backline. Oh, my God. Top 3? Is that top 2 locked? Yep, top 2 locked in for Setsuko. Now we can level up here, get the... Well, we actually sold the Misfortune, so we can't get that in, so we're just going to play Fiddlesticks here. Now, I mean, Fiddlesticks actually fantastic in on this board because he can hold the Morello, so really smart stuff to say that Fiddle will be the Morello holder here, and we are just going to throw him right on the front line yeah, I mean, to allow him to blink in, and yeah, he's just... Morello's the entire board here. He's a great holder of it here. We're playing against a very capped board as well. This is Azir plus, I mean, a lot of stuff really. It's Shurima plus the, I mean, just so many traits on this board, honestly. So I don't know. I think we got to get yeah. I mean, he also has this kind of package of units, the Nico Shiv Swain plus the Vi. So he's playing that package, but with a Azir setup, and then playing actually 2 Invoker with the Lissandra and the Zilean here. So interesting setup. By the way, did you guys know, because we are quickly approaching the end of the game, do you guys know Zilean's bugged? I had a game where Zilean just didn't cast, and I didn't even realize it in the game, but somebody showed it to, somebody like added me in my last VOD, and they were like, hey, your Zilean just didn't cast. And I asked my Discord, and somebody was like, oh yeah, Zilean just doesn't cast the round where he feeds you XP. What? So use that knowledge accordingly. Oftentimes, this can mean that you should level on the minion round so that Zilean doesn't bug out on that round. So hopefully that's something that'll get bug fixed in the A patch or the B patch that's coming early next week. But I guess we will see. And we will also see Setsuko winning this game with just a dominant performance. I mean, I feel like I had to VOD that game because it's such a crazy game, and one that I think the percent chance of that game going 8th was so high, and Setsuko, he almost made it look easy. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, my find all the links down below. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. And the Daisy Cat says bye-bye as well. She's eepy, I think.